Hello and welcome back. Today the last video of the Polkadot CodeCamp. Today we'll learn about Polkadot rent ecosystem. So after the CodeCamp, you already get the ideas on how to build on Polkadot hubs, necessary toolings, essential toolings and material for you to build on Polkadot hubs. And also when you finish all the 4 challenges, I think you already well prepared to build on Polkadot hub. So we gonna learn in the Polkadot ecosystem what kind of rent that you can apply and tag from it. So let's understanding about the raising proposal and securing the funding. Now, the workshop objective include by the end of this workshop, you will understand the Polkadot funding landscape, know different rent program and their requirements, learn to write compelling proposals, analyze good and bad proposal, master the tips and tricks for the success, and also understand the application and review process. So for the Polkadot funding landscape, we have first the Web3 Foundation rent, and then the Polkadot Treasury. Then you can also go to community rent or the hackathon and accelerators. Now for the funding by stage, in the idea stage, there's gonna be a few. So first, attending to the hackathon gonna secure you around 1K to 10K in rent. If you have a good idea and a good executions. Then in the level 1 rent around 10K from the Web2 Foundation rent, or it's also a good starting point. Then you can also apply your project to the Polkadot Treasury OpenGuild. In that way, you can apply for a small spender, which take around just a few K, which also a good number for starting the idea to be on Polkadot. Then for the building stage, we have the level 2 rent, would offer you around 30,000. Community rents from 10,000 to 50,000, and in the row stage we have the level 3 rent, which from 30,000 to 100,000, and treasury proposal 50,000 to 500,000 dollar proposal. So all these are more organization scale, and for the scale stage you can go to Polkadot Hub deployment, VC funding, or revenue generations. Now we take a look at the Web2 Foundation rent and what these have. So for the Web2 Foundation rent, it's have 3 level 1, level 2, and level 3. So for the level 1, it's up to 10,000, level 2 up to 30,000, and level 3 more than 30,000. For the level 1, there's a few couple ideas, but most of them is gonna be something that you can deliver for around 1 or 2 months. Which you can develop something like substrate palette or tutorial series, developer tools or documentations, but most of them going to be quite a small scales, and this take around 2 to 4 weeks approval. Minimal requirements, individual, okay, yeah, you can apply as the individuals, and roof concept, just a roof concept product, doesn't have to be something functional. For the level 2, it must be something functional and feature complete. Then you have a team commitment here, detailed requirements about what you delivers, and 4 to 8 weeks approval. Examples of some of the ideas you can build in the level 2, so the full stack DApps with a UI, substrate change, infrastructure service, and complex iteration. For the level 3, more than 30,000, you have the project development, major protocol upgrade, large infrastructure ecosystem-wide tool. And these must be established team, production ready, comprehensive doc, and it's taking longer time to for approval. So the progressions path, you can go if you're a new developer, go to level 1 first. If it's successful, then you go to level 2. If not, improve and learn. Reapply for the level 1 with different idea or something. Same apply to the level 2, and then also successful delivery is gonna land into the level 3, 30,000. Then you can also go to the treasury proposal after all these rent, and ask for a funding from the treasury proposal, or you can ask order ecosystem contributor to give you a funding. Now taking a better look into the level 1 of the Web2 Foundation rent, we have the perfect starting point for the new teams. And the characteristic, as I mentioned, so this is something for beginner of the ecosystem. Perfect for individuals who are concept focused, no legal entity needed, no interview required, minimal requirements. So this is ideal for a research project, prototype and MVP, developer tools, educational contents, small improvement and first-time applicants. Real example. So we have a substrate palette for on-chain identity. This team will apply for like 8,500 dollar. The duration is around 8 weeks, and team of one developers. So if you successfully deliver, now use in like 3 different parachains. And for the developer tutorial series, build your first parachain. The funding is around 9,000, duration 6 weeks. So like you can say like 2,000 per 2 weeks. Team like 1 technical writers and 1 reviewer. Outcome is 10,000 developer completed. Or you can and there's also a Polkadot.js hyper library which is rendered by the Web2 Foundation Run as well, and they ask for like $7,500 and duration of like 10 weeks with a team of 2 developers. For the level 2, it's up to like 30,000, which focus more on like the feature complete applications and established teams. Where like this cross-chain DEX with like ECM iteration, they ask for like 28,000 for the duration of 16 weeks to deliver like 3 milestones. And the team would be the 3 developers and 1 designer. Milestone to deliver the core protocol, ECM iteration and front end. Then live on like 2 parachains, 5 million total value lock. Substrate testing framework, funding for 25,000, duration 10 weeks, and 2 senior developers, and yeah. Now the last one would be the level 3, where you can see right here it's take like the planning phase a lot of weeks, and also like for a comprehensive application you have to go through a different process of like initial reviews, interview 1 technicals, and interview 2 the team visions, and then like committee decisions until it get approved. If it's get approved, then like you can execute a contract and then execute a project and then deliver based on each milestone and give like the ongoing report about your project. Now the real example project, we have a project development kit enhancement where the funding is up to like $150,000, duration of 36 weeks. The team of 5 core developers and 2 researchers, and used by like 50 parachains, and this already became like the industry standard. Or advanced case in snack iteration for substrate, funding of $300,000 for the duration of 48 weeks is a lot of times. 3 cryptography researcher for developers. Yeah, so these usually like take like a years, not like weeks. So yeah. How about like Polkadot treasury? What is needed to let's apply for the Polkadot treasury? So Polkadot treasury, I can say, is run on top of the OpenGuild protocol. You can visit it as like Polka assembly, whereas you can find all the information about like Polkadot treasury. The Polkadot treasury is the on-chain fund, community governance, funded by inflations and fees distributed like through proposals and no limit on amount. So like whatever amount of money like the treasury can support, you can submit a proposal. But as far as like the community support and approve your proposal, then you're gonna get the money. So 5% inflation funding, because every year like the DOT token have like the inflation rate, and current state like regular spending proposal, community design allocations. Treasury proposal process. So like the step 1 would be discussions around 1 or 2 weeks. Draft the proposal, forum discussions, gather the feedback and refine the proposal. The step 2 would be the submissions. Now you submit a proposal and deposit. It's going to go through the different process of council's review, community voting, and then you're going to receive like either approved proposal status or like rejected. And it's going to execute like or like the milestone delivery, payment release, and ongoing report. So what gets funded? The priority matrix for like the high ecosystem impact, medium ecosystem impact depends. Then you can have like different like track for depend on like for like the high ecosystem impact, it's gonna focus on more like infrastructure, developer tools, and core protocol. All these are like in the high priority list, and you can ask for like 10,000 to either like 200,000, depend on like the use cases, and these are like usually what like the ecosystem is really need. Then the medium ecosystem impact, where it's focused on the applications, the educations, and research. All these are like kind of like can be like technical and non-technical, but yeah, like they also have like a small amount of grant funding support in this. For rejections, if like the proposal is just for marketing clone project, per project only, or like yeah, and then like it's gonna be rejected. For developer tools, as you can see right here, it's a multiplier effect on like the entire ecosystem, because like one developer tools can empower like all the developers to build like another developer tools running on top, and then it can also empower like a lot of project, um, which help like to access to like a larger pool of user base. Yeah. For criterion examples, so we have like IDEs and plugins where we have like VS Code extensions, IntelliJ plugins. The typical funding is around like 15,000 to like $40,000. Recent rent is a straight IDE plugin, which take like around 25k. Then you also have other tools for like testing, deployment, SDK, code chain, and documentation, where you can like reference here. Now for the infrastructures, the infrastructure is gonna like focus more on like the niche, like the block explorer, RPC node, indexing service, monitoring, analytics, and archive node. And all these like have the empower like all the applications community and also project teams running on top of like Polkadot ecosystem. So they also like in like a medium priority as well. The infrastructure project type, we have, let's say the block explorer. The purpose is for like transaction and account browsing, and the typical funding is around 30,000 to like 80,000. Is empower the end user and developers. And for example, like Subscan, which have around like 1 million monthly user. RPC infrastructure, indexing, monitoring, we have like Polkadot, or analytics, we have like Polkadot.js stat. Archive node, we have like archive.org. Yeah. So what doesn't get like funded? So like closed source project. So like all the project must be like open source. Exceptions for like deployment operations if you want to get funded. Marketing only. So like if the proposal is only focusing on like pure marketing campaign, it's gonna have to be in like a different bounty. So in Polkadot we have a bounty called like marketing bounty, or if you host an event, it can go to like event bounty. But like you cannot like apply those in like Polkadot treasury, specifically only for marketing. For the clone project, it's like the copies of existing project, no unique like value, and fork without like innovations. For profit only, so like the project will like no public benefit, solely like commercial ventures or like token sales. Incomplete applications, so like vague descriptions, no technical details, missing team information, and unrealistic timelines. And or also like if like the proposal have like unrealistic scope, it can also like be rejected. Okay, so like how to write like a winning proposal. First, you have to understand like the proposal anatomy and the proposal quality checklist. So for the proposal structure, it's gonna first focus on like project overview, the teams, the technical details, the milestone, the budget, and the long-term visions. All these are like the main part of like one of the proposals, and each of them gonna focus on like one specific purpose. And here there's also an estimated length where you can level based on to write later proposals. The purpose of these is going to be used to empowers. The purpose of these can be a reference, so that you can write in the right tongues to support like that sessions. There's also like a deeper part of like the each sections for the focusing on the key element, like the problem, the solution, the impact, and why now, or like experience, GitHub, password, and roles, architecture, stack, plan challenges, specific output, material timelines, or hourly breakdown, market rate, contingencies, maintenance, revenue, road, or like giving feedback. Yeah. So, for example, the another part is like the team sections. This one you should write like in a very good examples that you focus on like the role of the team members, who is gonna be the leaders, who gonna be like the team members, who gonna be the core dev, and focusing on like the background. Focusing on the background. So in that way, like, it gives like a clear information about like where these people is coming from, and this helps like the curators to understand more about the teams, and easier for them to review and give feedback. So now for like the milestone structure, So focusing on like 3 milestone. So like you usually focusing on like 3 milestone. Like the first one, so focusing on like development. Then milestone 2 focusing on like testing. The milestone 3 can focus on like deployment. By the success of the proposal, before you apply, you should do your research, study the similar rents, read the forum discussions, check like your rented project, and understand the priorities. Know like the reviewer's perspective, so like understanding like how the project works, how the expectation works, and like are there any like similar project of like the one that you currently applies in the ecosystem right now, because like they most of the time they don't get funded if like the ideas already exist in the market. Then let's start small. So apply for like level 1 first, build the reputations, deliver successfully, then apply for the larger rent. Then like the step 3 would be like engage with the community. After so you submit the proposal, now you need like to distribute and engage with the community so that they understand like, about your proposal. So you can like join the Discord or forums, ask the question early, share the progress, and help the others build the relationship with like other with like the curators, and also like with like the people in the ecosystem so that they can help you to support the idea. Now, when you're writing the applications, be specific. So for example, instead of writing something like build a DeFi application, would like quite abstract because DeFi is huge. So you can write something like build an order book DEX with like ECM integrations. Okay, so like for the teams, you don't do like experienced teams. You're gonna want like to specify like what the roles of like all the teams and like their background if they have any track record in the ecosystem. And the purpose is like you don't want just write something like, hey, I gonna like help to improve the ecosystem. You're gonna want to write something like, I gonna reduce the development times of this tool by like 50% for like 500 like substrate developers. So when you set like a specific metric, the curators will understand like okay, so you have like a clear goal in mind, and we're gonna base on that to like give the curations. And you solve that and don't tell. So for example, like you don't say like we are qualified, but you say like the GitHubs and like showing like all the GitHub like the contributions that you made like to the Polkadot ecosystem. Or you don't say something like this is important. You say the survey of like number of developers, so like the number percentage of like the tool, how many of them like need the tool. So you show like a real number with reference. Okay, so and I think like that's also the end of like to the workshop, and that's already like cover pretty much like most of the things that you can like understand about the Polkadot rent ecosystem and how like you can write a root proposal and avoid like common mistake. Yeah, thank you for listening.